If you think America's racist, bro, you go to Iran, you'll understand like racism. Specifically with the trans thing, like they don't want that stuff. They can agree on like 10 things, but if you get the 11th thing wrong, they'll go to war over it.
What do you think about the White House card?
There's a couple troublesome fights on there for a couple Americans that are on the card.
Tom Aspinall signed with Eddie Hearn's management company.
It seems like a dig at Dana, right? Eddie is actually competition because Tom Aspinall, I've heard he's good enough to be a boxing world champion.
What do you think about the Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey? It's a cool card, right?
Yeah, bro. They could genuinely compete with the UFC.
Jon Jones and Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing Championship 6 is coming back to Miami. April 10th, the promotion returns to where it all started with a stacked fight card from top to bottom. In the main event, the most polarizing man in dirty boxing, the Wolf Rob Perez, undefeated at 3-0, faces heavy-handed contender Michael Garcia, who's 2-0 inside the DBX ring. This fight is for the interim heavyweight championship. In the co-main event, undefeated standout Montavious Ware returns to face dangerous former UFC fighter Luis Saldana. A fight with #1 contender stakes written all over it. And yes, Jon Jones will be in the building for an exclusive meet and greet. Catch it live and free April 10th on the Dirty Boxing YouTube channel. Tickets are on sale now.
What's the breakdown? What's up, everybody? We back. OD. Don't OD out there, but we on Overdogs podcast. Missy. Excuse me, Missy. Daddy has a job right now. I gotta do. You taking nice pictures? That's great. Baby girl start her first day at school. Or it wasn't her first day. It was her second day. But she did good this time and stayed there. So that's big news happening around here. We had an empty house during the day. That was fun.
I always hear it's like gym. It's super like emotional. Did you get all choked up about it?
No, baby girl was good the whole time. She was ready. Boom, we pulled up to the school. She started going ham and falling all over the place. And then I had to leave the teacher. The teacher was very understanding, but I was like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. And I just left her. And then sure enough, they post pictures. She's happy doing projects. I knew that was going to happen. So, in other news, in combat sports, they just had the Francis Ngannou, Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano press conference. I couldn't watch it. I was trying to watch it, and it just kept, it was blurry screen. I was just watching on Instagram, so maybe that's why.
I was just watching clips.
Okay.
I was going to watch it after we get off here, the whole thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen the clips. I mean, in other news, Makhachev says Dirty Boxing is going to be in D.C. the night before the Ilia Topuria UFC match against Justin Gaethje. The White House card. So we're doing a DBX White House area. DC, a DBX DC. That's super valid.
Fucking dope. That's
so
super
sick.
badass. That's so fucking badass.
Shout out Malky and Primo, Ibrahim. Them guys doing their thing. Dirty Boxing going crazy. They are in Miami, April 13th. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be a good show. Yeah. Yeah. You know that, what was that show? The More You Know. Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. The more you know. That's what it says. Well, it's the less. The less you say. Sometimes. The less you say. So, yeah.
The more you know, yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched that.
You never watched the Reading Rainbow?
No. I thought that was just a meme.
No,
I watched like Magic School Bus and shit.
The Reading Rainbow, man.
Let's talk about the BMF fight. We were kind of texting about it, and everyone kind of has an opinion about this, like whether or not, was Charles. I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm not talking shit, and he dominated that fight. But do you think the BMF belt kind of had an implied rule set? It's an implied one. It's not. It's exactly what makes it badass. It's that I don't want them to change the rules for it. Yeah. You get what I'm going at.
Yeah.
What was it? Not a BMF performance.
See, the way you worded it, though, it was a beastly performance by Charles Oliveira. He dominated the fight, won by 50-45. It wasn't a stand and bang. There was a moment in the beginning when Charles threw some shit, hit him, grabbed his back, boom, slams him down. That was it. 25 minutes.
Yep.
Dominance. Charles Oliveira showed why he's such a legend at 155, man. So I get it, though. I get the stigma of, oh, it's BMF, we stand and bang, you know. You got to have all realms. But look, like, the fact that Holloway survives 25 minutes of trying to protect his neck, that's not easy. No. Charles Oliveira on your back, he's finishing people. So
I at like almost no point was I not concerned this could end right now. Like, he could snatch him up, get his neck. Those neck cranks did not look fun to deal with. I don't know. I think it just boils down to he should have said something about, like, I feel like it's not the fight he even sold the fans. Like, just say, I'm going to show you the baddest motherfucker can just take you down and choke you out. Like, say something like that. Again, not that big a deal. He beat him. I think you get rid of the BMF belt now. It's meaningless. It's not. That belt was made, let's be honest, that belt was made for fighters that just bring the heat and don't have titles or lost the title because of maybe a hole in their game that gets exploited. Wrestling. So we don't want it to be just pure.
I mean, it's hard. The original fight that we got with that was Masvidal Diaz. And Masvidal has insane striking ability. And, you know, he trains at American Top Team down south. So if there was grappling aspects, he was sharp in the fact that he knew to stay out of Nate's guard. You know, he didn't turn into a wrestler at any time of the fight. He was able to keep landing strikes. Nate's able to strike with him. Super durable. And took good shots and was always prepared to, like, if the fight got into a grappling scenario, do what he does with his skills in jiu-jitsu, whether it's on his back or top control, whatever. But yes, it was a banger, the first BMF, and then we've had others. And that's just, it was just like a nice reminder of what the sport is. And I'm entertained by that, though. Like with Charlie Olives or with Khamzat Chimaev, when they're doing that to people, the entertaining, intriguing part is like, who's going to be good enough?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Stop it and then land their shit.
Yeah, I always said the same thing about Khabib. Like, he was actually, you know, way more active on the ground. But, yeah, it's like at some point, if no one can do anything to you, it becomes super interesting because you want to see someone who can fucking solve the puzzle. Like, I get that. I just think Charles should have said something about it. He shouldn't have sold the fans like, we're going to fucking, you know, stand there and bang. Again,
you
whatever.
Can't say that. Like,
it makes perfect sense. I know. That's why I'm saying
these fighters ain't selling you cleaner and it's bleach, or, you know, oh, this cleaner's too harsh, or oh, this cleaner's not cleaning good enough. They're not selling you that type of product. No, they're selling the idea to the fans and their opponent. And if I can trick you and make you think I'm going to battle you at any point when I got the ability to just hold you.
I get it. I mean, and I'll say this too. Like, we've just never seen Max get controlled like that. Like, it was beyond fucking impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like, again, at no point, like, I was like, I'm going to fall asleep. This is boring. Right. He was always trying to get something. Right. But it was just like, damn, bro, this is the opposite of what every fan at least hoped for.
No, is what it is. That's why we made Dirty Boxing, and Platinum Mike Perry is the king of violence and bare knuckle, because we just get in a little pocket and we just fucking throwing knuckles, and you know, it's I don't know. You don't. I mean, there's some big knockouts in bare knuckle, and then there's fights that get won with like a scathing shot or something that gives you a cut.
Just cuts them up. Yeah.
You don't see the big impact. You know, I've been a part of that. It's hard to get the right side of highlights, even when you're winning the fight. Sometimes that highlight's not that precious video that comes out and stays around for 15 years. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. What can we do?
What do you think about Dober and Michael Johnson? It was weird because before the fight, the line moved again. Second Michael Johnson fight in a row. Not, you know, I'm not accusing him of anything, but like, what the fuck was going on with that?
So I saw a post that said Michael Johnson's nephew was kidnapped in another state, and that
Where'd you see
it was
this?
a lock on second round TKO by Dober, and that he was, and then they had the jumps on the bets, and they didn't ask Dober about any of it, and But who knows what you read on the internet? But I saw that. I saw a post.
You talking about this
that.
one? Because I did see this one. Michael Johnson has been paid to lose by round 2 TKO today. The gang called Gangster Disciples coming out of St. Louis, Missouri are holding his nephew hostage. Okay. I felt like when I read this, there's some joke. There's like a, what's it called?
Now, Johnson hit him with some shots in the first round. He was setting up his range and timing, wasn't able to follow anything up, but he hit him with some hurtful shots. And then second round, it was over.
My number one thing about when people have fight fixing allegations is who the fuck signs up to be like, okay, yeah, just knock me fucking dead? Like, you could literally say, you know, catch me with a couple shots, I'm going to panic shoot.
So I saw that post after the fight. I didn't see that post before the fight. I saw it after, which just makes me think trolls have this really interesting way of creating this drama or even buying into drama that's already there and can create something like that, because for him to be so good at throwing the fight, he just puts his chin out there and gets his clock cleaned. The only explanation to something like that, of him being able to make himself take that shot and give up on purpose, is a family member you love. I mean, I hope none of that was true. And, you know, it was a good fight by two accomplished UFC fighters. And, you know, who knows?
I think I did dog shit on picks, didn't I? I think I had...
Nah, we were 2-2. We were 2-2. I went 2-2. Yep. You went 2-2 because you picked the opposite of me, which I thought was a good strategy.
I didn't do it on purpose. Like I thought Michael Johnson's hands would be there, and I thought Holloway would...
We did. I'm sorry to interrupt. We didn't talk about the Cody Garbrandt fight, which...
Oh, God, dude. Hilarious.
That
Wild.
It was an interesting fight. And, you know, Cody did what he had to. I saw someone had a big parlay. It was a low bet for high money, and they needed Cody to go in. And he was, you know, on his bike in the third round because some shit had happened. He'd been hitting the nuts, you know. So he's like, this guy lost 2 points. All I got to do is move around.
Yeah. Well, when was the last time you saw? I've seen it before. A lot of people had never seen someone throw up from getting kicked in the nuts. That's definitely a thing.
I made someone throw up today, bro.
Shit, what happened?
He threw up on the mats, and as he walked off the mats, he threw up all over the floor right there too.
Not from nut shots though, right?
No, dog. We was sparring, but it was like light spar, and then, you know, he was moving a lot, and, you know, he was swinging pretty heavy at my head. So I started hitting him in the body. I hit him with some good body shots. And then I did I was doing MMA, so I did I faked the overhand right. Yeah. And then I kicked his back leg and pushed him back, and he landed on his back, and he was like, oh, I'm going to throw up. And then as I got off and let him up, he threw up on the mat, and then he ran to he couldn't find a trash can, he threw up.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was like, man, but then this guy was training all day. He was training so much. I was done, and I'm like, look at him over there still going at it. So props to that guy, man. Throwing up and keeping going. I've been having a lot of fun with training, man, getting myself back into the finishing moves. That's what I call MMA, you know, because if I get a position, I'm a big-time ground and pound fighter. Kind of, you know, I'm not as good as Khabib, but he was definitely a ground and pounder. John Jones himself told me the secret to MMA is ground and pound. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten good at working some positions, holding positions, or, you know, I don't just hold. I use my punches to hold the position and try to just relax and you know, go for a ride and land some shots while I'm working it. It would be fun if I could get the call. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, so what do you think about the White House card? Look at the way they scrambled to get this shit done, and I'm sitting there thinking when I saw it, like...
I think, shout out FRM, getting business done, man. Them guys making big moves, and, you know, having the guys to do it with as well. There's a couple troublesome fights on there for a couple Americans that are on the card. On the UFC White House. I have a lot of thoughts about the UFC White House. I see what some people were saying. It's kind of clickbait for some to be like, oh, the White House card is not good. And then it's also like, let's be real.
It's a good
card. The event itself, it wasn't even going to matter who was on it. And they stacked it. They threw some shit on there. So you got O'Malley, you got Ilia, Justin Gaethje is the main event, and then there's Bo Nichols on there.
Bo Nichols versus Kyle Dawkins. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. So shout out Kyle.
All right, looks like our guest is here. Let's bring him on in, Mr. Beneil Dariush. Yes.
What's up, Mike?
What's up,
How are you, brother?
I'm doing well, thanks. We were just talking about UFC White House card when you came on. I like it.
I do too. I think it looks pretty good overall.
Was there ever any talks of you being on that card?
Nah, and I'm kind of disappointed, bro. I even campaigned for Trump with Rick Gunnell, so I figured I'd definitely be on it, but they didn't even ask. But we'll see. Hopefully, maybe something pops up and they toss me in there.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be getting a big opportunity in no time. So I read some things about you today that you were raised in Iran.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, don't believe everything you read, man.
Oh yeah, well, it's for the show, so I would hope that my producers aren't steering me in the wrong way. But really big news. I mean, you were raised in Iran and as a Christian. So, you know, can you please tell us about that, what that was like, and maybe some things that some Americans might not be understanding about the position we're all in America and Iran and Israel as well.
Okay, so I was born in Iran. I lived in a small village actually called Urmia, and I would say in the village we were treated very well. But outside the village with the government, there was definitely some persecution, and it wasn't anything like too crazy, but you know, there's things like Christians can't do, and then there's things, for example, we weren't allowed to interact with Muslims about Christianity. Like, there's no sharing the gospel, there's no evangelizing, there's no we're not allowed to have those conversations. We're not even allowed to, invite a Muslim to the church. So those things were always there, and no alcohol. My dad was kind of my dad was a big fan of alcohol, so I think that was like one of the things that he was like, okay, we got to get out of here. So, but yeah, that growing up in Iran for me was amazing because the village we lived in, everybody treated us really well, and I got to live a farmer's life, and that's a good life.
That's amazing. What's something that, during the current conflicts between, United States, Iran, Israel, places like that, what is something that maybe Americans aren't understanding about the lifestyles of the places that, that these people live? Everyone is in different areas and, they all have a different lifestyle.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question because you have to understand we're getting kind of mixed messages in America. You get messages where they're begging for America to invade and essentially change the regime. And then you get places that are not so much like that. You get different messaging. So Iran there's a lot of different culture, I would say. So even though the Ayatollah is the supreme government, whatever, if you go to Tehran, it's really liberal. Like, they're trying so hard to become westernized and kind of have that kind of style of life. But if you go to different places, they're a lot more conservative and religiously more conservative, and they want more freedom, but at the same time, they don't want what they see in Western culture, especially when you look at the movies, when you look at the whole LGBT, specifically with the trans thing, like they don't want that stuff. So there's a divide in Iran. I would say majority of the country wants the regime to change, but at the same time, whoever takes over the new regime, and if they just try to go super liberal, there's going to be a big pushback. You have to understand your audience, and you have to understand that it's not all Tehran. Like, if you're looking at the country and you're just looking at Tehran, then you're going to have the wrong perception of the country, because Tehran is really liberal. They really are a big fan of the regime change, and they really want to be able to dress however they want and whatever. But a lot of the other parts of the country, they want to stay conservative. They want to have more freedom, of course, as far as whether it be religion or it be their activities, but they don't want too much of that Western liberalism that's currently, I would say, is almost like a sickness even in Europe and here. So
they'll take like a 2000s American.
I would say maybe like 1940s, 1950s kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because also another thing, there's a lot of different cultures, as in different like you have the Kurds, you have the Turks, you have you have people Arabs, like I think in the South. I want to say you have a little bit of everything. You have so many different ethnicities, and they don't. Like, if you think America's racist, bro, you go to Iran, you'll understand like racism. I would say you go to any other country in Asia and you'll understand it. So they don't want to be forced into something. So you gotta. It's a really difficult situation. The lines are very it's like a thin line between love and hate. They can agree on like 10 things, but if you get the 11th thing wrong, they'll go to war over it. It's like that.
It's concerning. I live in the east of the Western world, and the America of America, if you will.
Yeah.
Down here in Florida is pretty nice. We're conservative, and you said things like liberal as far as they want to dress with the way they want. I mean, conservatives would have some points there too. We dress the way we want, but we think, we're not going to wear a furry costume. We're going to wear fucking slacks, button-up shirt. You know, we're gonna hit the vibe and you know, to each their own in the conservative world. Liberals want to definitely push. So it's hard to know what other countries are thinking the concept of America is when they say the West, and I'm over here in the East like, well, we don't do a lot of that.
Yeah, well, we feel the same way about that. Yeah, you're right. Like, as far as how you dress, I do agree. Like, you should have freedom to dress the way you want, but there should be a high standard of code of conduct, like a high moral standard of code of conduct. Like, whoever takes over the next regime needs to recognize that you can give freedom, but at the same time be a standard of the code of how you should act. And you know, I'm going to be honest. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping something good will happen, but at the same time, I'm very cautious because every regime change so far has been a failure, and it's been a tremendous failure. So it's a little bit scary. The only difference I would say between Iran and all these other countries, the people are basically screaming for the regime change. That's the only difference, and that doesn't mean it's going to be a good thing when the regime does change. I hope it's a good thing. I hope someone takes over and recognizes all the different parts of the country and recognizes that they don't all move the same, and don't try to put them all in the same box. Don't have a cookie cutter approach with it.
I want to stay in the political range before we move on to things we might be better suited for, like recent fights and maybe next possible matchup. So, Mac, if you have another...
I have a quick one pertaining to all this, for sure.
Political moment.
As I sit here drinking some beers, I was just curious, just purely curious. You said your father liked alcohol. Like, is it like a moonshine operation he had to be running, or like... How does that work?
I believe it was vodka. It was the operation, so it wasn't quite moonshine. But we had... vineyards? No. Grapes. We had a ton of grapes. So vineyards, right? And so vodka was like the easiest thing to make. We would make grape syrup to eat for breakfast, and then we would make vodka to drink at night. I mean, I didn't drink it, but that was kind of the thing. Yeah, we knew which neighbor did it well. As also, like, hey, my dad would send me over, be like, hey, go pick up some vodka from this guy. No one's gonna expect a kid, picking up alcohol. So I'd get it in like a Coca-Cola bottle, like a plastic bottle, like a 2-liter bottle, or a liter bottle, and then I would bring it back. I'd be like, okay, leave me alone. I want to go do something else. So that was kind of the move back then.
When did you try some of the homemade vodka, and what are the difference with it with some vodka you've tried in your older age?
I mean, I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking, I think, at 17, but I did try it in Iran.
You stopped drinking at 17?
Yeah, I drank at like 15, 16, 17, and I realized it wasn't for me. The year after I started doing jiu-jitsu, so thank God, that was a life changer right there. But it was just stronger. When you would try stuff, because you could also bring it in illegally from Europe, you would try it in the village. Some people would say, hey, this tastes a lot better, but it was stronger. It was much stronger, and I don't know as far as proof or whatever, but in the village, you didn't need a whole lot to get a buzz. I remember we'd always have to be careful, or our uncles or my dad or whoever, because once they get like 1 or 2 drinks in, we kind of avoid them, because they would either get they'd start either getting like super happy, or they'd start getting angry, and it's just like, all right, no one wants to deal with this shit.
It's just like straight airplane fuel, man. It's just the pure stuff, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was I saw them bring European stuff in and saw them drink an entire bottle, and they were still kind of like whatever. And then they would have 2 cups of the homemade stuff, and you could see their eyes change. Yeah.
That's awesome, though. So how long have you not drank?
So 17, I'm 36. I think that's 19 years. I tried wine Giga Chikadze is like, no, bro, you're drinking wine. So he kind of forced me to drink wine. I think I had like half a cup. It was all right. I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
That's cool though, man. That's awesome. Really strong mindset. I mean, you have a great mindset in the fight game, and we've seen you, like a lot of great athletes, a lot of top of the world fighters go on this roller coaster. Things happen in this game. We have ups and downs, and you always come back and battle harder. Do you know what's possibly next for you? Is there something on the calendar?
So actually, they were they're putting me on the Miami card. So Dana announced not too long ago I'm fighting Manuel Torres. I'll give you guys the breaking news, I guess. I just found out, I think it was yesterday or Sunday, he pulled out. He's injured. So I guess that fight's not happening anymore. So I'm waiting actually for a new opponent. So that's something nobody else has heard so far.
All right, so Manuel Torres is out. Breaking news: Beneil Dariush set to fight in Miami. We got to find him a new opponent who's a possibility, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. So, as far as the top 15, I kind of looked and they're all kind of booked. The only guy kind of would be available would be Patty, but then we would have to push the fight back to another date because he obviously it's 5 weeks. He's not going to want to cut down to 155 in 5 weeks. It would have to be something later, like the White House card possibly. But I mean, I would prefer to stay on the April card. I think that makes more sense for me since I've been leaning out for it. And to be honest with you, originally they told me I was supposed to fight Manuel in February, and then they said March 7th, and then they said April 11th. I'm assuming he was injured and he was pushing it back, and it essentially didn't work out for him, right? And then he probably re-injured himself or whatever. I don't know the exact details, but whatever it is, all the best to him. I hope he recovers quickly and gets back into the fight game. But I'm just waiting on an opponent, and the only guy I saw that's available is really Patty.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Well, and I'm not tripping, right? Like you recently had said that your next fight might be your last. Am I tripping?
No, you're not. I'm in a place where it's I'm just taking it one fight at a time. It could be. Yeah. Like I could fight, I could win, I could lose, whatever, and I could be like, all right, I think I'm done. It's gonna be one fight at a time. I'm not it's not an age thing. It's not a love thing. I love this game. I love fighting. It's just I want to be sensitive to what God wants, and sometimes forcing things that aren't for me that I shouldn't be doing anymore has gotten me in trouble. So I want to be faithful essentially, but we'll see. I don't know the exact details.
That's tough. That's a challenge that fighters go through. Kind of like your opponent. Maybe being injured, thinking he could work through it, figure a way out to get in better shape while dealing with something, and then he had to make that call like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to. That's a tough call. And it's a thing fighter, but then they call and they go, we're offering you this much money to come fight.
Yeah. Trust me, man. Injuries have I mean, it's something I've dealt with for a long time. So injuries have always plagued me, and they've caused a lot of havoc in my career. But like you said, when they call you, it's really hard to get around it.
Matter of fact, thinking about that is, so you've stated comments about, while we're talking about maybe this could be, I feel like every fight could possibly be your last. Like you go through a lot, your body gets beat up, and then 6 months after the fight, you're like, crack your neck a couple times, do some push-ups, and you're like, I could do it again. Yeah. So that's how it goes. But in my notes here, it says that you were thinking about a possible move to 170 pounds from lightweight. That's a tough gap between 155 to 170 is the 15-pound gap. And, it's hard to do 170 to 185 as well. If you were interested in making that move, Is there anyone on your sights?
Nobody in particular, to be honest with you. I recommend I asked the UFC, and they pretty much said we're not a big fan. They're like, you're in the top 15. We think you should continue to compete in this division. And so we did all the testing to see if I can make 155, and they said I'm actually pretty dense for the division, but I'm still capable of making it safely. So I don't really have anybody in mind for 178, especially now, because if they had said yes, you can go to 170, I would have started studying guys, and I would have been like, oh, I want to fight this guy and I want to fight that guy. But right now, I don't really have anybody there. I'm more focused on my division.
Is there anyone you feel like you missed out on fighting, or like a fight you just never got that you really wanted?
Probably the Dustin Poirier fight. I was a fan of Dustin Poirier, so I wanted to fight him as well, because he was always right there. We were both right there in the top of the division. That was, I think that's the fight that I can think of that got away. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I never got to fight Islam. We were scheduled to fight, and then I broke my leg, and that was a really hard one to get past. I struggled with that for a while.
How'd you break your leg?
Man, I went for a takedown and my toes got stuck in the mat weird. And then as I finished the takedown, the way my ankle twist, it broke my I think it's the fibula, the small bone in my ankle. Yeah, and they scared the crap out of me. They're like, it's gonna need surgeries, it's gonna need this and that, and at first I was just like, I'm gonna just do physical therapy, and like within 2 months I was back to normal.
Well, that's good.
What would be your game plan against Islam? I'm just curious, like going back to that, like, how do you see that fight going? How would you approach it? What do you think is so special about him?
I think what's special about him is fundamentally he's so good. Like, he doesn't have weaknesses anywhere. But as far as the game plan, I recognize that he used a lot of fakes to be able to close the distance, to tie people up and implement his style. So my game plan was to match his fakes. Whenever he would fake, I would fake, and I would fake more. I would go past that, and then obviously I want to do a lot of damage in the striking. Easier said than done. He's not a guy who gets hit, but the other part was, if I do get taken down, scramble. That's something I love to do anyways in my fights, and I think most guys aren't capable of scrambling with him. And I think I am. That's really my style for the. If you watch my grappling, it's mostly scrambling, unless I'm on top. If I'm on top, then I'm trying to hold you and just be kind of putting pressure on you. But if I'm not, if I'm being attacked, I could scramble forever.
Interesting. That was really. I mean, I never had someone say it as simple as that. Like, he's gonna fake a lot and I'm gonna fake, and it's like, that's half the fight if we just sitting there like this. And that's gonna help you set up your timing on his intentions.
Yeah, because if you watch him, he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. He doesn't, if you look at, let's say, Topuria, he's able to, move his shoulders in a certain way where he closes distance, and then he'll go body, head, and then he'll find the knockout punch. Islam, on the other hand, he doesn't really do anything out of the ordinary, but because everything is hidden behind his fakes, is hidden behind the takedowns, it becomes extraordinary, essentially. And so if you're able to match his fakes, if you're able to stop his takedowns, all of a sudden you have a very winnable fight. And I would point you to the first time he fought Volkanovski. I think that's a really good example of it, because Volkanovski is also great at fakes. He does he does a great job with fakes. He does a great job with defending takedowns, and then he's able to get back in there and keep fighting.
Wow, man, I can see, why you've had such success throughout fighting history, and you've been in some of the best bangers. You're very well thought out, and you do your homework. You watch tape, I would assume, obviously, as you just mentioned, Volk's fight with him. I mean, that's interesting, man, to hear how you break this stuff down on paper in order to go train physically for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, right? Like, if you're just thinking I can get better by training hard and listening to my coaches, but I don't need to study anything else, maybe it's true. Maybe your coaches kind of do everything for you, but you're gonna miss out on a lot. If you watch fights, there's a lot to learn from these fights, and just watching Charles and Max this weekend, there's this little thing that Charles does every time he shoots against the cage, where he's able to pull you, lock up the body lock, and lift you. He's very strong. Don't get me wrong. Charles is very strong, but there's a second is a push into the wall and then a pull into the body lock that makes it so good. If he was to do that a little bit slower, he wouldn't be able to get it the way he gets it. But he's figured it out, and he's timed it perfectly. As soon as someone tries to dig an underhook, that's when he goes. And that comes from studying. You want to study. You want to study the greats, and then you want to study just the new guys in the UFC, because you start to pick up little things. Sometimes, obviously, it's a lot easier to study the greats because you're like, this is what he's doing. This is what it's really easy. But if you can get good at studying just the average UFC fighter and picking things out, that'll help your game grow.
So what did you think about, the crowd booing Oliveira during that fight? Joe Rogan says these people, what did he say, casuals watching a master class. What did you think about the fight? Grappling-wise,
it was a master class. I mean, Charles, he showed great wrestling. He showed great jiu-jitsu. He showed great positions. And then on the other hand, Max showed great defense. I mean, I was surprised that Max wasn't able to make the adjustments in the wrestling. But as far as jiu-jitsu goes, he did a pretty good job defending the chokes and stuff. But again, Max is not a scrambler. Max is typically good at getting up, and he struggled this fight. But that just shows you how good Charles is. And as far as what I think, I love the fight. I thought the fight was very good. I actually thought Max could pull it off. I thought Max was going to pull it off, but I was proven wrong. Charles looked really good, really, really good. His wrestling looked on point. You can tell he's just constantly improving that wrestling of his.
Like, what do you think about the BMF belt? Should they get rid of it? I think at this point, you just get rid of it. It was fun while it lasted. It's no big deal. I get why Charles did it.
I'm not against the BMF belt, because I understand that, the person who holds it gets more money, right? As athletes, we all, we want more avenues of revenue, or whatever you want to call it. That being said, I guess it's on the UFC if you think about it, because they gotta match make the fight in a stylistic fight where it's gonna be what you're looking for. Like, how many takedowns does Justin Gaethje have in his career? I think it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
How many does Max Holloway have? Not too many. So those guys make sense. Guys like Dustin Poirier made sense. He's got a ton of knockouts. I guess Charles makes sense too, but Charles try to grapple. Charles tried to take Ilia down. Charles tried to take Makhachev down. He tried to take me down. Like, he tries to take people down. It's not a new thing he's been doing. So that's something they need to take into consideration when they're thinking about like doing the fights. So I'm trying to think who else would have been better for the BMF title.
You and Charles for the BMF. What would you do if you got that call and accepted that fight? Because I'm sure you would accept that fight. And then, you can't. Obviously, Charles is smart, and he might know your game plan. But the way that you think about it, I just kind of want to know, what would you do to kind of put a halt on what he's trying to do in there?
So you have to understand, Charles is going to come in with a lot of pressure and double legs and body locks. So you got to have a good sprawl, and then you have to have a good body defense. For example, Ilia Topuria did a great job. When he dug his underhook in, he dropped his hips. So when Charles went to throw him, he actually fell on his back. You have to be ready for these little details of, hey, when Charles shoots a double leg and pushes you against the cage, don't try to dig an underhook unless you're going to drop your hips, because he's going to lock that up and pick you up. That's what Charles does. So it's better. It might be a better idea to push his head down, and you might stay against the cage a little longer, but you avoid the takedown. And then as far as, what to do striking, it depends on your style. Like, Max is a stick and move guy, and I think that's fine as long as you can defend the rest. But if you could also meet Charles, I think, Charles has been in a lot of wars. It's not a bad idea to be able to, go 1-for-1. But he does hit hard. I'll tell you that.
Wow, I want to see that one now, man. Beneil Dariush versus Charles Oliveira for the BMF title. I know he just had the fight, but I bet he would do it. I bet Charles would be ready to do it right away as well.
I don't know if I'm not really on the BMF list, but I hear you, brother. I would love to have that fight again.
I don't know why you wouldn't be on it, man. I think you have some banger fights. And you're smart about who the BMF champion is right now and what you would do about his game plan to create the scramble, to create this more intense fight.
I see. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Charles is one of the GOATs, so you have to be well prepared for him.
You always have been. That's why I'm a huge fan of you, by the way. Thanks, you're a very cerebral fighter. That's always been obvious. But, dude, you will fucking throw down when you need to. And you're good at it. You're fucking good at it. But I'm curious, with your analytical mind, and we talked about maybe you're playing it by ear, next fight might be your last. But you've talked about continuing, like staying in MMA. What do you want to do after that? Coach, analyst, commentator?
Do you have businesses?
I mean, I own a gym, so I am a coach already. I own King's MMA in Anaheim. I'm cornering a few guys. I've cornered this year. I cornered Urush Medic. He just had the win over Jeff Neal. I didn't get to go for Nikolai's fight, but Nikolai recently just had a win over. Man, I'm forgetting everybody's names, but
that guy was sharp. Urush Medic, man, he was sharp.
Yeah, Urush is sharp, but and then Nikolai had the win over. Wow, I can't believe I'm forgetting it. He's a Florida guy too. Whatever.
I'm forgetting too.
Yeah, but it was Nikolai had a great knockout as well. So I have a few guys that are in the UFC right now that I corner, and then obviously I have a lot. The younger generation, man, they're really good. I have a lot of guys up and coming that I think will do really well.
Is that where that analytical mind comes from? Your time as being a high-level head coach, or even just coach, or you already had the analytical mind and you started kind of coaching guys to get them better? I
think the analytical thing came later because, at the end of the day, it's a lot easier to just to fight. I don't really want to think about it. I don't want to study. But as you get older, you start to enjoy solving puzzles, essentially. And so you start to look at things as puzzles, and it becomes a lot better. It becomes a lot easier to dig into stuff. But ultimately, bro, it's a lot easier just to fight. It's just kind of go by instinct, If you trained enough, if you've done everything you're supposed to, if your skills are good, you're gonna win kind of deal. That's the easier approach, but it's not the right approach because you could have the better skills and still lose.
Have you seen some of my bare knuckle?
I have.
I have. I go in there. I just train hard, and then I go in there and we knuckle up. As simple as that.
So when I watch your fights, one of my favorites is Luke Rockhold, and I don't have anything against Luke, but he was so confident when he went to fight you. He was just like, oh man, Mike Perry this, Mike Perry that. He didn't have any respect, and
it didn't age well though,
bro. Within 30 seconds, you saw.
I just mean he's been beat up by everybody else now.
Yeah, but I mean, it changed him. Like within 30 seconds, you saw a different look in his eyes, and he realized, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. You know, maybe I'm a good boxer in the gym, but I don't have that here. So that's probably one of my favorite fights of yours. I've seen you. I think with is it Julian? His name is Julian.
Yeah, Julian Lane.
Yeah,
Come at me, bro.
I watched that fight too. I got to tell you, bro, bare knuckle was brutal. I don't know if I could do it.
He had 9 or 10 fights at my first fight in bare knuckle. So Julian Lane was a knucklehead for sure, and he did give a good fight. But I outpointed him. I brought the points to the board and easily. But that was the fight that taught me a lot about bare knuckle, like breaking my hands on his face, or and then you don't have a weapon.
Yeah.
And I think now at the last fight against Lil Heathen, Jeremy Stevens, he took some shit.
Yeah.
And he just kept on fighting.
I can't imagine getting hit by you bare knuckle. I mean, and then just keep going forward. At the same time, it's these guys, they hit you. I'm assuming the same thing. Like they're bare knuckle is a different animal. It's absolutely a different animal, man. You can't compare the two. It's crazy. It's crazy how it goes. But all the respect to you, man. I'm not one of those guys where I just call it like something. Oh, that's dumb. Don't do that. I think it takes actual skill, and I think it takes a different kind of human being to do it. So like I wouldn't put it. Like people like try to compare it to power slap, and I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
don't do that. That's not even. It's not even close to the same thing. That
I think it's a lot of boxing. And you can do some MMA grabbing and to set up your strikes in there as well. And there's a pain tolerance to it.
Yeah.
And, a big part of don't be a bitch. That's a big part of it, I think. And, we'll get through it tomorrow or whatever. But, at 185, I have some skill in a bare knuckle boxing ring at 185. I believe that. And then at 185 in MMA, a 220 pound guy might cut to 185. And if he gets on top of me, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a different sport. Like you said, the grit, right? Being able to dig down and bite down on your mouthpiece and take these shots and then look at him and be like, no, that's not going to do anything. That's
tight, bro.
Yeah, that's where people break, I think. Right. I think people hit you and they think, oh, he's didn't even move back. He's still staring at me like he's going to take my head off. And I think, that's why I mentioned the Luke Rockhold fight. Because I felt like he landed maybe a jab and he thought, okay, that's going to do something. And then he sees you coming at him like
he stumbled me with the straight left. He threw a straight left on the ropes.
That's what it was.
It stumbled me. And then I just remember smiling after he hit me.
Yeah, and then you came at him like a tornado, and he just, that was it. He didn't have an answer for that. So I think bare knuckle is something special, and I think that's why it's so popular. It's not like it's picking up. I think every year it gets more popular, and I get it. It requires skill. It requires grit, and it's exciting. It really is exciting.
I think slap fighting actually helped BKFC massively, dude. Because when BKFC came around, some people were like, "This is too much. This is crazy." Yeah. And then fucking people came out slapping each other, knocking. And they were like, "No, that's fine now."
Yeah. What? Yeah. I mean, what's the skill behind it except build power and hit hard? can you turn your face
Yeah.
as they hit you? No, right? You're not supposed to.
Nope, you can't flinch. You get you get hit a second time if you flinch.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
that's
think
a
it's funny in
little weird.
BKFC, like every card, there's like usually at least one or two guys that are debuting that what you're talking about, like they throw one punch or hit, absorb one punch, and you can tell they're like, no, this ain't it.
Yeah.
And they look for a way out.
Yeah.
Almost every card, it weeds out people. Yeah, it takes a different person for sure.
I agree. Yeah.
Tough to know, but I do have another style of fighting that one day we talk about it if I possibly got in there. I don't know what type matchup we would make for my first fight in Dirty Boxing Championships. We've created our own sport. It's a new sport, new league. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
I haven't seen it yet. Tell
Guys,
me.
can we get a video of Dirty Boxing for Mr. Beneil Dariush?
Yeah.
It's boxing in 4-ounce gloves with elbows, spinning strikes, and Supermans and ground and pound.
Ground and pound.
So I feel like this is what Dana wants.
for the BMF.
This is what
fight.
Dana wants the UFC to be.
We had Andrei Arlovsky as co-main event, believe it or not, under Yoel Romero on that card.
Dang.
We've had some really big names fight for us. A big one would be the Butcher, Brian the Butcher.
Brian Battle.
I can't believe Battle's his real last name. That's so cool.
That is a good last name.
Yeah,
Dang.
we've had some good fights up there.
Pretty much all strikes go except for kicks, right?
Yep.
No kicking, no kneeing. It's boxing with elbows, 4-ounce gloves, and ground and pound.
Wow.
If you knock your opponent down,
Yeah.
if you knock them
so
down,
there's no
with a strike.
takedown to ground and pound.
No takedown to
Okay.
ground and pound.
There's a promotion in Japan. I think it's called KO or knockout or something like that, where if you take somebody down, you have like 10 to 20 seconds of a ground and pound opportunity, and that's it. And that's why I was wondering. But no, this is different.
Yeah, no wrestling. It's designed to be very entertaining. Just a clash of titans.
Yeah.
So
Like
I'd
I
like to
said-
get one in there, man. I've been to 5 or 6 of them.
Like I said, I think that is very entertaining. I think that's what Dana would love to have in his fights, because you could see Dana's face when there's a lot of grappling. He starts to get like, The only time he didn't complain about a ton of grappling was when Hamzat fought Duplessis. It surprised me when they asked the question, post-fight interview and whatever. They asked him about the fight. He's like, "Oh, I thought the fight was great." I was like, "You did?" I was a little surprised.
Hamzat's polarizing though. He's an intense
Dollar bills,
guy.
I think, is what Dana saw. Yeah,
I think so.
Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have put the belt on him that night. He would have had.
I think so too. I think I'm assuming it's got to be something with Dubai or somewhere that's pushing him, and so they like seeing Hamza win. They push him quite a bit, but the fight wasn't exciting. I don't know. No matter how you look at it, it wasn't. And I'm not saying it's Hamzat's fault, because Duplessis didn't try to really get up either, but it wasn't an exciting fight.
Ouch.
For as much as I've kind of said, I wish Charles would stand and bang a little bit more with Max. I get it. That fight was actually entertaining because Charles was almost, neck cranking him. He was almost getting him out of there. Hamzat fight, that was not.
There was
that
never
was completely different.
a danger of finish. Yeah, Max just did a great job defending, and then in the striking, Oliveira looked good. He landed.
Yeah,
he was landing, and he was landing strong stuff. It's crazy. Oliveira has power, man. People don't realize it. Oliveira has a lot of power in his
Max
hands.
looked huge when he fought Gaethje, and he beat him at 155, and it made me think, wow, he could really be incredible at 155. And then he goes back down to 45. It wasn't good. Then he come back up to 55, and Charles is like, I've been here longer, and he showed it. I mean, his grappling showed it. It was weird. It's like he seemed big against Gaethje because why? Gaethje wasn't entering any grappling situations?
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Max still can be great at 55, but he's going to have to figure out this grappling thing. Because the difference between 145 and 155, there's a lot of grapplers at 155. Or at least there used to be. I don't know if there is a lot of grapplers left.
At 55 or 45?
55.
Yeah,
I feel like there's still a lot of grapplers at 55.
Oh, yeah. Gamrot, Armand.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There is.
And now it's been exposed. Like, we've never seen Max held down like that. So now anyone that does fight him, they get in trouble. Like, Gaethje probably could have wrestled him from what we saw, you know?
I don't know. I think you're underestimating how good Charles's wrestling is. It's very good.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, well, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I mean, it's very Hoist Gracie. He's creating new things in the game with his grappling.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Charles' jiu-jitsu. It's amazing.
Same.
Speaking of excitement, we actually have some fun watch him reacts, and we could do them with our guest today. We got 3 funny or wild videos that we get to watch and react to. So, like The Undertaker. Oh, I did see that.
I saw this, yeah.
Is it the girl that knocked her out? So the girl that won, she's like an Olympic. She was like an Olympic gold medalist or something, and then this girl is like not even.
That's bad, bro.
That's a yikes.
That's a yikes. The double left hand. That was so good. I mean, skill wise, it's so good, but it's. She was ready for the third one, bro. She hit her with the left.
You don't see women knocking them out like that all the time, man. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I like to see that.
Dang, it's so clean. Whoever that girl is, she's got a perfect left hand because she threw it once, stepped back, threw it again, and she was ready to throw it again. That's years of effort and skill. I don't know what the skill of the other girl was, but sheesh, man, that was rough.
That's what I saw. Yeah, it was Jade Jones, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that left hand's a piston.
Yeah.
Props to that girl. This is our next. I heard of. I saw a little bit of this. After UFC 326, there was a crowd scuffle going on. Big fights outside of the T-Mobile Arena.
What are they fighting over?
Probably Charles fans versus Holloway fans.
Oh,
nice fight.
Well, I mean,
attempt.
Here's the thing about going to a UFC event. Probably everyone trains. Look at the guy, the way he moves back. He lands something, and then look at the way he moves back after he lands. Watch. Right here. Look at the way he moves back. He moves back in stance. Like, he knows what he's doing, man. And then the cowboy has no clue what he's doing, and he just, as soon as he steps in, he starts getting cracked. Jeez, bro.
Man. Oh, that's funny, man. After UFC Miami almost got into it with a Darren Till fan.
What happened to that?
He said some shit to me. And
I thought you and Darren were gonna. Something was gonna happen there. Is Darren still competing?
He's boxing now, and
he just knocked out Rockhold.
I never got a real offer
from
Misfits, so I never. They even said that I lied about the amount of money that I was offered, and that it was too low, and they never made me a offer with a number. So they even said that. So they never made me the offer. Darren's been beating people up in boxing. He's a big son of a gun now. And, there's still a possible chance at some business being done there.
He can make 185 though, right?
He better be able to make 185. He used to fight 170.
Yeah.
He's pretty big though. I know he gets up to like 220, and then he's probably wrestling with Hamza, or he used to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that fight, boxing or bare knuckle. Either way, I think that'd be a good fight.
See, all these guys don't want to do it bare knuckle because that gives me a good shot.
It gives you a big advantage. I think after the Rockhold fight, people realize the advantage that you have there.
I love that shit, man. It's
But
wonderful.
even in boxing,
King of
I'd love to see it, man. I think you guys have such a good history. I think the fight makes a lot of sense.
8 weeks to prepare, or 8 to 12
Yeah,
prepare.
bulk up a little bit.
185. He go to 185. I'll box him. I'll fight him at 185.
Yeah,
I like dirty boxing though, because I can throw elbows and I can do a little bit of clinch fighting. I like bare knuckle. I can do a little bit of clinch fighting, and the pain for putting these hard knuckles in your face is fucking in my favor, I think, because I got a hard head. I'm gonna break your hands and then I break your face. Either way.
I agree.
So I like it that way. Boxing, I'm 0-2 as a fucking boxer. I need a win in boxing, I gotta be honest. So, but boxing hasn't been my fucking abilities with the big ass gloves on. I don't know.
The stick and move thing works in boxing. It doesn't work in bare knuckle and dirty boxing. That's the problem.
I mean, my whole camp against Jake Paul, I was trying to put size on, but I stayed right around 194, 195, and I would lose 5 or 6 pounds at a workout, go home and eat some rice and steak, gain the 5 pounds, and then go work out again, lose it again. And my whole game plan was, being this durable guy that walks people down. I'm chasing you. I'm putting pressure on you the whole fight, trying to land overhands, trying to land jabs and left hooks and uppercuts, and being that heavy bag that walks you down. And I got hit a week. My last sparring before that fight, I got hit in the ribs, and it fucking made me back up. I had a good boxer, undefeated boxer, hit me in the stomach, and I backed up across the ring, and then I fought through it. And then the first thing Jake did was hit me in my ribs. First shot of the fight, and I heard it pop. I'm like, oh, man, fucking got my rib. So then I was a little gassed out.
Bro, the size advantage in that fight it's clear. So I think you stepping in there.
It makes me wonder if I go into the fight with more of a, instead of trying to stay up and weight, be more lean, be more hard, be more ripped up. And instead of weighing in at 196 with 7 cups of water, I weigh in at 192 or 189 even. And fucking, be faster, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I think that makes sense too, because pressure fighters need to be fast too. You can't be, especially since Jake, he's put on so much weight, he's slowing down a lot. I think he's much more powerful now. He hits a lot harder now, but he's slowing down. He doesn't have the same speed as before. And if he does try to be quick, he runs out of juice quicker. So
yeah, that was the goal, that he, gets tired on me. And then 6th round coming around, it's the longest fight of my life. I never fought 16 minutes. Every UFC fight ended at 15 minutes. Bare knuckles, 12 minutes max. So it was a new threshold that Chris Young, I got up off the ground. I was exhausted. He asked me to step over, and I stumbled a little bit. He stopped the fight. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm breaking a threshold here. I've never been here before.
Yeah, I think the fight is a win for you either way. Just being able to step in there and taking that fight, I think that was a W. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, put that in your pocket, bro, and don't stress
do
over
it again.
it.
Then when I get back in there with him, that'll be a W.
Exactly.
Because now he done fought Joshua. He is crazy for that.
I respect him for that. Yeah, my views on him have completely changed since that fight.
He's doing big things. What do you think about the Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey and Francis Ngannou versus his opponent? I don't know his new opponent.
It's incredible.
Felipe. It's not Felipe. It's Philippe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool card, right?
Yeah, bro. It's a total. If Netflix is behind them, they could genuinely compete with the UFC. But the problem is they don't really have a roster right now. This is just a one-time thing. But if they had a roster, I think they can genuinely compete with the UFC because of Netflix.
There's Philippe right there.
Yeah.
It's cool to see a movie star come back in Gina Carano. She's been a movie star for 20 years now.
Yeah.
She's coming back to fight. And Ronda's as spicy as ever. Talking shit. Yeah. She was talking shit on the UFC White House card. She was talking about the pay to fighters, and she was talking trash about some fighters and her opponent. Ronda coming back. People are haters, dog, but she knows how to do it. She knows how to get the attention.
I think this fight will get 100 million views.
This is going to be hugely viewed. Hugely viewed. This is the better fight, obviously. I mean, it's like a legacy fight between Ronda and Gina being much older. But, like, it's a good fight. But I think it's unfortunate that the UFC and Francis couldn't come to a deal, so we didn't get to see him in his prime years,
Agreed. Dang.
Like Felipe, like Lins, he's a good fighter.
That's crazy.
He was in PFL. I think he won the tournament one year. But this is, man, I just wanted to see, with the heavyweight division looking as bad as it does in the UFC right now, I would have liked to see Francis fight it out with some of the only few remaining good heavyweights, if that's fair.
Who are the heavyweights outside the UFC that you can,
There's, none. That's kind of the problem.
Ah, man, there's got to be a name. Like, Arlovsky's a name, but he's already...
Oh, for sure. Ben Rothwell and Arlovsky just fought for a BKFC title.
With... He's extremely large man. He's a Taekwondo specialist.
Oh, Despaigne.
Espaigne from karate.
Despain, yeah.
Despain?
Yeah.
That's his name,
he was a Taekwondo fighter. He knocked everyone out in karate combat.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps knocking people out.
Cuban guy, right?
He's such a
Cuban, yes,
fighter.
that's right.
He's so
Despain, he's good.
Yeah, but he doesn't really have a name behind him. Like, you know what I mean?
Nope.
Neither does Philippe, to be honest with you. But either way, I'm excited for this fight.
Well, this kind of goes into something I was going to ask you. It's kind of a hot topic for all the fighters right now. Dana White and Zuffa, $15 million to Conor Benn. And so a lot of fighters are feeling a certain type of way. Seems like it might be harder to make fights. Like, what do you think about all this that you've seen?
Well, I mean, I think we need competition. That's my thing, because we're never going to be able to actually get know our value without competition. And right now, UFC is the only place. The only other, Netflix could make it happen, because Netflix is one of those things where if you start putting fights there, people will, and you can promote athletes, because in order for a promotion to be big, you have to make the athletes big. That's the thing. The UFC is at a stage where it doesn't need that anymore, but you have to make the athletes big. You have to get people invested in their story. And so Netflix has that capability. Netflix can do all of the boxing used to do. It was called like 24/7 or something, where they like the countdown stuff where they follow you, but they start to humanize the fighter, and so all of a sudden you're a fan. I think Netflix has that ability, and that's how you build stars, to be honest with you. That's how you do it. So I think Netflix could do it, and then if there's competition, then we'll really know what our worth is. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about the UFC doing what it's doing when, if it wasn't for the UFC, there would be no MMA.
It wouldn't be MMA on Netflix.
Yeah,
right
there would be no MMA anywhere. I don't know. They had to change the laws because it got banned. They worked hard to change the laws. They invested a lot of money in the beginning. So I get every side of the story, but at the end of the day, I'd love to see better pay for the fighters.
100%. What do you think about Tom Aspinall? I don't know if you saw this. Tom Aspinall signed with Eddie Hearn's management company.
Yeah, I mean,
it's funny, but
it seems like a dig at Dana, right?
For sure.
It seems like a dig at Dana, and he's just trying to kind of piss him off. But I don't know what Eddie brings to the table. But here's what I know, though. Eddie is actually competition because Tom Aspinall, I've heard he's good enough to be a boxing world champion. So if that's the case, you can have him, you can pull him out of the UFC, similar to kind of Francis, and move him into MMA, and I think that would hurt the UFC, especially since the heavyweight division's so weak right now. I saw some report about they were talking about getting rid of it, and I was like, "There's no way they would get rid of the heavyweight."
There's
division.
no way they'd get rid of it.
That's
it's
stupid.
that bad.
But it's
Here's how bad it is, real quick, just for context. Today they dropped the new rankings. Tai Tuivasa is in the top 15 again.
wow.
He just lost. They did this with Derek Lewis too. He went up in the rankings. Tai Tuivasa came back. He hasn't won a fight in like 3 years. Love the guy.
Yeah.
But he's now broken the top 15 rank. Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah.
And then they cut Almeida, who was really good. He had, 3 wins in a row in the UFC?
Yeah.
But they just weren't fun, so they cut him. Heavyweight is in a poverty state right now. It's terrible.
And you got to understand, in America, if you're a heavyweight, you're going to go play football or you're going to go to basketball. I don't know. It just... There's a lot more money there for our best athletes. I think are going in those sports, but there is a future because the heavyweights. Who am I thinking of right now? From Minnesota, Gable Stevenson. Is that right?
Yeah, Gable.
Yeah, he's gonna be
3-0 in MMA right now.
Yeah, he's gonna be awesome.
He fought in dirty boxing. He knocked a dude out.
There you go.
First round dirty boxing.
I think he's ready to go to the UFC right now. Like, who's gonna be able to stop him?
He's like a shorter, more explosive Daniel Cormier.
Outside of Tom Aspinall and what's the other guy's name? Cyril Gahn. Who's going to be able to stop him? I really can't think of people stopping that takedown.
It would have to be like Volkov or something like that. Someone just tall, huge, and has enough awareness to stay away.
Volkov is great at striking. He's a good grappler, but he's not good at defending takedown. He's going to get taken down. So
if Gable gets him down, it's fucked.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone can stop the takedown.
Gable hasn't really been taking people down. Gable's been knocking people out and taking down their unconscious bodies.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'd love to see him.
He wants to be a brawler.
Yeah, I'd love to see him in the UFC. Well, I think he wants to make money, so he's going to do whatever is going to make him money. He's a smart guy.
I remember at the UFC athlete retreat in 2017, I sat down at the buffet and I got all this food and I had this plate. And Ari Manuel sits across from me. And I'm just eating. And then this girl fighter sits down. And I'm like, why are all these fighters coming over? And then I look at Ari and I go, I'm sure you're somebody important, but I don't know who you are. So who are you? And he's like, I'm the guy that bought the joint. And that's what he told me.
That's funny because I didn't know who he was at that time either. I was at the same summit or whatever you want to call it. And I never even got an interaction with him. I got to shake Kobe's hand, which I thought was cool. There's a bunch of guys that I had no clue who they were, and then I found out later, and I got more excited about him. But yeah, I guess he was there too. I didn't know he was there.
It was cool stuff. Yeah, I got during the Kobe thing, and then Robert Hirschfeld gave a little lesson about money, and I was sitting next to Karate Hottie, and we were taking notes when Kobe was talking. And then I didn't get to shake Kobe's hand, but like I got him on video on my Snapchat. But then, so the Lisa girl, she was a fighter named Lisa, a UFC fighter. And Ari's at the table. I think so. And she starts talking about the union. Mm-hmm. And she's talking about pay and this and that. And Ari's like, and then I'm like, eating. I'm like, I'm just here to fuck people up and get paid. And he's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, we still out here repping for UFC, man. We talk about UFC. We get to talk to the best UFC fighters in the world, man. It's really an honor. And I'm glad you guys can like my blood sport, too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, I appreciate what you do. These platforms are cool. We get to share our thoughts, and because a lot of the interviews are cookie cutter. You get the same kind of question.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have it. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Well, if you don't mind,
man,
can I drop you
talking with you?
like 2 more real quick
Sure.
that I wanted to touch on? Okay, so John Jones is asking to be released. Have you seen that? What do you think about the John Jones situation? Do you think they should have given the fight at the White House?
Do you think it's possible because of John's record they're not letting him?
Yeah, because apparently what happened, you're onto it. So there was a report released that Steve Garcia was hit up a week before. He's now fighting on the card, and asked if he had any priors or anything like that, anything that would get him in trouble with security. They said, we're not offering you a fight. We just want to know who's available.
Yeah.
So they asked his availability and if he had a record.
So there's that. And as far as the UFC's never gonna let John go. John is
Yeah.
he's a superstar, man. John is a superstar. Many consider him the GOAT. Like there's no way they're gonna let him go. So that being said, what do I think about it? I think I need more details, bro. I want to know more details and are able to give you a better thought. But I think it would have been great to see him fight because we don't have any UFC champions from the United States. So that would have been cool.
That leads into the other one, and I agree. Cyril Gane versus Alex Pereira is like it's a stylistically funner fight.
It's actually
It's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it's like the best heavyweight fight I can think of.
Yeah. Well, so why do you think everyone's counting out? I don't remember last time I saw like Justin Gaethje. Everyone's just saying he's going to get killed. Ilia came out today himself and said some crazy shit, like poetic. Like I don't know. I don't remember. You can wake up and it's going to be all over, and that's fans believe that. Why do you think everyone's counting out Gaethje?
Because Gaethje didn't look good in his last fight. He won, but he didn't look stylistically amazing like Ilia does. Like Ilia, the way he moves, it's very smooth. Gaethje is very rough around the edges, and so people just assume he's not capable of actually being able to compete at that level. But I actually think Gaethje can do really well. The thing that I think is going to mess up Gaethje is if Ilia goes for takedowns. And then people are like, what? You guys think Ilia will go for takedowns? Yeah, he goes for takedowns. Yeah. He took down Max. He took down a couple of other guys. He does go for takedowns. I think if Ilia goes for takedowns, I think it would be a really rough day for Justin. But if not, you could actually see a really fun fight.
I agree. What do you think it takes to beat Ilia with your analytical mind?
Somebody actually like Max Holloway. Because if you pay attention to the fight, Max was sticking and moving, and he was doing really well in the boxing. You know what? Where Max started losing the fight? Leg kicks. Ilia tore him up with leg kicks. If it wasn't for those leg kicks, Max had to switch stances. Max's speed went down, and all of a sudden Max is getting hit. But Max was actually doing really well in the hands. So I think to beat Ilia, you have to have really good hand speed, and you got to be able to stick and move, and then be able to defend the leg kicks. Because, bro, Ilia has an incredible leg kick. Because he kicked Max, and Max was spinning. He kicked Volk, and Volk was spinning because Volk was also doing really well. All these guys, like, they were doing really well until they weren't. That's the way it is with Ilia. So I think stick and move is the way to go. It's just you got to be able to recognize that Ilia really is well-rounded. He's not just a boxer.
Well, there you have it, folks. Beneil Dariush's analytical thoughts on what makes these fighters great, and I thought he gave us great breakdowns. It's been great talking with you today, Beneil. If there's anything you want to say to your fans watching, now's your chance.
Man, I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank my fans, for being with me on this ride, and hopefully we close it out big.
Let's go.
All right.
Can't wait to see it, Beneil. Thanks for talking with us today, brother. Have a good day.
God bless, brother.
Care.
Thank you so much for your time.
Boom! And it's great, man. I like talking with these guys, man. These fighters are not. I mean, Beneil's kind of a quiet guy. But I'm sure he's had his moments in press conferences that brought him to the top of the fight game. And I know he's had big highlights and fights and events that people have all tuned into. These people are always so humble when you get to talk with them. They've been through so much. As athletes, man, it's just great to get to talk with them.
100%. Yeah, he's a super dude. I was gonna tell him we needed to get him out of there. We had him for over an hour, but like when I haven't done it in a while, but when I show someone MMA, try to get him into it, his fight with Drakkar Klose is one of the first ones I show people. And a lot of people forget that whole meme of like Anik, DC, and Joe jumping up, looking like fucking shocked. That came from that fight, from when Beneil started walking down Drakkar and knocked him the fuck out. That was that fight. So it was one of the most electric fights I've ever seen. And I don't know, that dude's got the dog in him for sure.
He does, man. Yes, he does. I like that guy. There it is, man. Overdogs Podcast. We had some good stuff today. I didn't ask the conspiracy questions. Sometimes I have trouble with the conspiracy questions because of Matan. Matan's like, whatever conspiracy there is, I believe it.
Well, and we just get carried away. I mean, like, we hop on the topics. There's a lot of fucking MMA news right now. Like, there's a lot of MMA news. There's a lot of disagreements, arguments, upcoming fights, everything, dude. You know, it is what it is, but...
Well, may the game continue to grow, and my bank account continue to grow as well.
And DBX DC sounds lit, dude.
Oh, that's crazy, man. That's a good one right there. DBX DC coming to you after DBX Miami. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for
Slam
watching.
that subscribe button, you fucks. It's free.
All right, boys.
All right, thanks, Mike. You're the man, dude.